Peace, peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Right now. I feel like I got some cold in my eye. Not too long ago, woke up. Surrender. If we always accept the way things are, we are not going to make any effort to improve them, right? That would be a question. Like when somebody hear the word surrender, talking about the power of now, being in the moment. You know, some people might ask that question like, well, shit, if you're telling me to surrender and be in the moment, if we always accept the way things are, we are not going to make any effort to improve them, and that's what some people may feel, but that's not true. It's a way to accept what things are in that moment and then take action. But we're going to speak on that. Now, remember, surrender is not defeat or giving up. It's not failure to rise to the challenges of life. It's not like a passive, vibe of like turning the cheek. Surrendering is not a season to make plans or initiating positive action. You still will initiate positive action, still making plans. So surrender is not that. What surrender is wisdom of yielding, the wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. So instead of trying to oppose the flow of life, you're yielding to the flow of life, and again, it's that wisdom of yielding to the flow of life rather than opposing the flow of life. And surrender is also acceptance of the present moment unconditionally, because remembering that whatever the present moment is, it is what it is, and then you move from there. So acceptance of what is immediately acceptance of what is, excuse me, I'm reading from my notes, y'all. Acceptance of what is immediately frees you from mind identification and thus reconnects you with being. Resistance is the mind trying to be in a thought about the past or future. Everything and anything but the now moment. And like I tell everybody, you pay attention, your thoughts is always going to be outside, of what's going on in the moment, Because again, if you were in the moment with whatever you're doing, whether it's a conversation with somebody, reading, or whatever the case may be, playing sports, you're not going to be thinking, you're going to be in that moment. So it's very key, again, that power of now, and surrendering to the moment. So again, resistance in the mind is basically trying to keep your thoughts in the past or the future, just basically any place but the moment. You don't have to accept the overall situation, but accepting the now moment. So say, for instance, and I got an example about that. So say, for instance, you don't have to accept the overall situation, but accepting the now moment because it is what it is at that point. Kind of like being in jail, It's like you don't accept the overall situation of like, oh, jail is just what it is for me. Or nah, you know what I'm saying? In this moment, you know what I'm saying? Accepting it for what it is in this moment, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it is what it is at this point. And then we do the best in our now to act upon it, to change the situation. And again, I had the example like being back at my mom's crib, Like, just because I was back at my mom's crib don't mean that I should accept the overall situation of like, oh, well, I might as well stay stuck at my mom's house forever. It's like, no, accept the now that I am back at home at my mom's crib, but, and then realize, all right, there is changes that I can make in my now to change the situation. So again, acknowledge and accept what is in that moment, but you can make changes in your now, you know what I'm saying? But again, it starts off with that vibe of acceptance. Think of surrender or acceptance as, like an alcoholic that has to call out that there are alcohol. Like, hi, my name is such and such, and I'm an alcoholic. Like, accepting that moment that, hey, I am an alcoholic, and in order to, even clean up this moment of being an alcoholic, I have to first acknowledge being an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? So it's that whole aspect. You don't have to deceive yourself or put your head in the sand as if nothing is wrong. Like, well, let me just act like I'm not. Let me just act like I don't want to be here at my mom's house. Like, let me act like like I don't want, like I rather be in Los Angeles, but let me act like I really, really want to stay in my mom's house in Louisiana. It's like, no, don't act, if that's not what's, makes your now blissful and what brings, a positive and, high vibrational energy into your being, that's not the outcome that you truly would like to be in, you know what I'm saying? So again, don't have to deceive yourself as if nothing is wrong or as if it's not an undesirable circumstance, keep it real with yourself. Now, importantly, which is very, again, because we've been used to, in the past being in our thoughts, and we've been used to being judgmental of every situation we come across, that place of observation is very unique and new to, our consciousness due to being programmed to, be judgmental and all these other things. But importantly, don't judge the situation or label it as bad or good. You know what I'm saying? Again, like being back at my mom's house was neither bad or good. It was a part of my growth, Now, of course, within that realm, it wasn't a desirable situation, but that still doesn't make it bad or good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was a bad thing that I grew up in the hood around all this shit. You know what I'm saying? This and that. But then that pressure turns you into a diamond where now you know, providing for your family on a different level that doesn't, that's more positive than your past, so you could look back at that situation and again say it's neither good or bad, again, it's just a part of the growth, and don't judge or label these situations, you incarcerated, that's neither good or bad, you know what I'm saying? They'll have things that are happening there, it's a certain environment that may not bring your energy up, but it's a part of the process. Because at anything, like with everything, it's like, hey, you made the bed, you gotta lay in it. Whatever we're dealing with because of our own subconscious programming, our own inner being, and dealing with the actions that we made. You know what I'm saying? So again, don't judge the situation or label it as good or bad. And by doing that, you prevent the further loop of resistance, and emotional negativity. So you prevent that loop of that shit keep happening. Because the moment you judge it as bad or good, but just the moment you judge it in general, in most cases we'll judge these situations as something that's bad, then it'll come back on us, you know what I'm saying, on some vibes of like to show us like how we're labeling that situation, and we don't break free out of that loop until we stop labeling, this situation, because the universe is trying to show us to stop labeling it as bad or good. So it brings it back up until we realize, like, all right, this is neither bad or good. This is just a life situation that I'm supposed to, that's going to help me grow. And some life situations come through in a positive manner and some in a negative manner. But positive and negative don't mean good or bad. They're just two polar energy, two poles of the same energy, in essence, of the same thing, Heads or tails, two sides to the same coin, 25 cents regardless, Shout out to my brother Josh for bringing it up like that. But again, you are a source on a human experience that agreed to the experience of contrast. You agreed to the experience of your mama being a crackhead or your daddy being an alcoholic or half of your family dying in a car wreck, and not dying but transitioning because they're on their mission, you know what I'm saying? Souls dealing with whatever, playing out their karmic energies, but remembering that you are a source on a human experience that agreed to this contrast and this duality within this realm, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, and again, remembering that you're a source on a human experience that agreed to this experience of contrast in order to experience and to move closer to the things that you do love. You know what I'm saying? The resistance makes stronger, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only way again, like that connection to source, you know what I'm saying? In essence, that stronger connection, or say for instance, I need, like when we look at our life, the moments we look to pray and stay connected with source, which, there's an asterisk by this, because you shouldn't wait till shit happen to go to wanting to connect with your inner being. But you do realize, again, like us going through things, that pressure creates a diamond. Like when we go through certain things, we make sure we strengthen that connection with source in any way, form, or fashion. Or if we haven't, if we're new to even the aspect of like, how to deal with God, then we at least go to searching and looking like, all right, well, how to interface with God or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's due to, going through this experience of contrast or duality, which in essence brings us closer to that source. So again, part of the experience. If you find your life situation unsatisfactory or even intolerable, it is only by surrendering first that you can break the unconscious resistance pattern that perpetuates that situation. I could tell I got that from the book. And matter of fact, shout out to Eckhart Tolle for the Power of Now. Man, that book is very saucy. But again, if you find your life situation, basically in an unsatisfactory, intolerable type of vibe, the only way to fix that is first accept or surrender, to that situation. So only by surrendering first can that situation be changed, and you could break out of that, unconscious resistance pattern, you know. And again, let's see. And then from that situation, surrendering and acknowledging, all right, this situation is unsatisfactory, it's intolerable. All right, I'm not going to be mad or try to be in resistance of what is. Because again, we are creatures of habits. The more you constantly resist your moment, the more you create more of, again, that loop. So that's what that means. Like you break that unconscious resistance pattern or that lesson loop, that matter of fact, preventing that further loop of resistance by, accepting and surrendering to that moment instead of judging it as bad. Because again, you constantly judge your now is constantly, the universe delivers more of what we focus on and more of what we're dealing with in our now. So if our now constantly consists of bashing it, if my moment constantly consists of, man, I hate this moment, or I hate my life, or I hate it, we're going to get more of that. You know what I'm saying? So, we, again, surrendering to the moment of what is, all right, it is what it is, man. I just lost this job, but, surrender to this moment. I'm not going to judge it as bad or good, because, hey, shit, this job that I lost is also open up an opportunity for me to get a job that I truly love. So it's, again, neither bad or good. It's just a situation that's playing out, But all right. Now ask yourself, is there anything I could do to change the situation or improve it or remove myself from it, So again, after acceptance, it's like, all right, is there anything I could do to change the situation, improve it, or remove myself from it? So take that appropriate action. Don't focus on the multiple actions you must take in the future. Only focus on the now moment and the best thing you could do in the now, So like, again, I don't like being at my mom's crib, this and that. I don't look at it as bad or good. I accept it for what it is. And I ask myself, take the appropriate action. What can I do to improve this situation or remove myself from this situation? And again, I'm going to focus on the moment. I'm not going to be like, well, oh shit, in the future, I gotta do this, and I gotta get a car. I gotta, go holler at so-and-so to get my license registration on and I gotta do this to get out of my mama's house. So I gotta do that to create. It's like, nah, just like I tell people the example with start my YouTube channel. It's being in the moment, not being, again, looking at the multiple actions of the future. Because in that moment, if I had looked at the multiple actions of the future, I would have overwhelmed myself, because I've been like, oh man, I got to get a new camera. I got to get another laptop. How do you even do intros to video? Is my voice right? Should I come? It's like, just do what's best in the moment. What do I have in the moment? I have my cell phone. My cell phone works. All right, boom. I have my consciousness and my health, a healthy consciousness in order to be in front of that camera to deliver a message. So bam, I got everything I need right now in this moment. And from there, I'll just build on what I got in this moment, and building from there, then, the laptop came, and then these other situations, came in alignment. But again, it was doing the best from in the moment. So always, keep that in consideration. Again, and also we can make plans because that may be the best action to take. Just as long as you stay aware of being now while planning. I repeat, we could make plans, again, like to take action, you can make plans because that may be the best action. Again, we're talking about the best action to take. And the best action to take in a certain moment could be just making a plan. Like, all right, I don't like being where I'm at. Let me make a plan to remove myself from out of this place. Because again, that may be the best action to take in that moment. Just as long as you stay aware of being now while planning. So again, be in the moment. Let your planning consist of what's best for the moment, and not trying to, fear monger yourself way into the future. It's like, all right, well, what's the best thing, with what I'm planning, allow for this planning to be in alignment with what the resources that are, in my now resources, but whatever I could have my hands on right now, let my planning be in alignment with that. You know, again, don't drift too far off into the future, and observe. You know, just being observant. Of like as we go through this situation now, because again, by surrendering and doing all these things, now you're creating a cycle where you're more aware, and you're not getting lost in the sauce of your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So as you become more observant, you're keeping that resistance from plaguing your future now moments. Because let's see. And that whole aspect of observing, again, from that moment, as thoughts pop up or certain situations pop up, you observe. How does your mind create it? How does your mind label the situation, yourself, or others? You know what I'm saying? Observe. And by observing, like I come across a certain situation, or I end up, say for instance, I'm going to visit my mama house, and then something, I feel like, oh, that's bad. You going back in that loop. Observe. Don't judge that thought. Again, because that's how tricky it is, too, with thoughts. Don't judge your thoughts as bad or good. Even if it pop up, even it might be the sickest or darkest thing ever, and I just put it out there. Like, it could be some just extremely dark situation. Still don't label it. Because again, we dealing with the aspect of we are, souls on the human experience. And some of us may been in experiences in our bodysuit, you know, that have allowed for parasites, to come within the body on a high level, So again, if we trying to work ourselves out of that parasitic energy, as we start working it out of that, as we start working ourselves out of that parasitic energy, those parasites feeling you being more present and aware and pulling yourself from their grips, is gonna throw out certain little things, and that may be in the form of a thought. You know what I'm saying? Like stabbing somebody or this and that. Let's just say, you know what I'm saying? And again, don't judge that thought. Just observe. Like, all right, look at that parasite trying to create that. Observe. And that allows for you to be in a more present place. You know what I'm saying? But that's basically it. And again, don't forget, Triple H, habitual healthy habits. Constantly getting the lesson loops of healthiness, because whatever we focus on grows. So what are you constantly focusing on? What the percentage of your day, what you focusing on and dealing with. And just one more aspect. Again, I done did this video, but something told me that, right now this would help a lot of people to to talk about this aspect. Again, Just some other aspects. Never do anything that you don't feel like doing. That's for one. I don't care if universal frequencies or Brother Panic or Bobby Hemmett or Young Pharaoh, Dolo, True Brilliance, Minx Diva, Conjure Queen, try to think of all of, no matter who you hearing certain things from or, getting insights from, whatever, or the people, again, from what you're watching, or again, the beings that surround you, whatever the case may be, never do anything that you don't feel like doing. You know what I'm saying? Practice a state of loving your now. Again, what we focus on grows. If you're constantly loving your now, you're going to create more situations of a loving now, of a moment to always love, you know what I'm saying? Compared to if you're always focusing on when you got molested as a little kid, or you're always focusing on, when you scrape your knee, or you're always focusing on when you felt this class or whatever, then you're going to get more of that energy. And the subconscious, remember, the subconscious don't know that you're reminiscing the subconscious mind on something like, all right, this is what's on the tube right now. This is what's playing, and we're gonna keep this in motion. So again, practice the state of loving your now, keying in on the wonderful feeling you are experiencing in that moment. So also, as you're loving your moment and having these blissful moments, like sit there and really like be grateful and pay attention to it and be like, man, I love this moment. Look at this vegan hamburger and the way it tastes as I bite into it, man. This tastes like a cloud from heaven. Like savor every aspect of that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's actually about, again, we could read about all these different aspects about the now and about, a subconscious mind, but it's actually applying it and actually work, like actually putting in the work of, clearing our subconscious and, being in the moment and getting out of our thoughts, and actually doing that work. But again, being in the moment. Now is the vibrate. Not tomorrow, not 5 minutes later, you know. And we all subject to, the procrastination or things of that nature from time to time. It happens, from moment to moment, I should say. But it's realizing, hey, now's the vibrate. You create, you creating your uh, healing, or or just moving from out of the past in your moment, healing your past or changing things of your past and creating your future simultaneously in the moment. So again, practice that state of loving your now and keying in on the wonderful feeling you are experiencing in that moment. Let the good feeling set the standard and be the blueprint for your future moments. Again, and that's why, again, how I've been speaking on the, watching myself have to clean up things because I was falling that realm, back into that realm of like, being nice and, as an empath trying to help and save people. It's like, bro, that's not your job in essence. I mean, of course, situations are lined up for you to help people, or, where you just come across somebody right quick and know to give them a crystal or something like that. But I'm thinking about those situations of like, where you're sitting down and thinking you have to listen to somebody vent about their, you know, lower vibrational energies and stuff like that. And of course, at some moments, again, we'll find ourselves being that helping hand in essence, but just always be aware, that there is like, you want to have like some type of clock on, if you're allowing for somebody to vent to you. And then two, also though, only allowing, accepting that vibe if, because like I tell people now, it's like, all right, I listen to your vent, but we're going to also look at positive aspects or, ways to pull yourself out of that. We're not just going like, oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. It's like, well, no, all right, if woe is you, then let's look at some ways for, you to, let's speak on some ways for you to pull yourself out of that energy. Word to the blackbird, to transform, get from out of that dead place and, you know, but, again, the now, what we focus on grows. So you want to be aware. You might have to be a vibrational snob from time to time, you know what I'm saying, from moment to moment, making sure you're not just sitting around, because again, we're at different parts of our growth. I wouldn't want to go around somebody who's, like say for instance somebody that's on a different level of growth than me, you know, and they go to talking or venting, or say for instance they still in that stage where they bring up some negativity, it's not my job. Then you start to see where you just need to be around, the energies that, more so align with where you at now. Because again, too, in a lot of cases, we'll be self-sabotaging ourselves by, dealing with somebody who represents that old aspect of ourselves, 'cause in most cases what we're doing is like subtly trying to go backwards, you know, in essence, if we're not paying attention. But I digress. Satisfaction comes from moving in the direction of who you really are and your desires. It feels like a good idea, follow it. You know what I'm saying? If it feel, again, never do anything you don't feel like doing, or that, do what you love. You know what I'm saying? Not what somebody else suggested that you should love. Like, oh, you should love doing this, or you would probably like this. So if you don't like it, then don't try to like it to be nice to that person. Because again, because they suggested this to you, so let me be nice and try to do. Like, no, if it ain't nothing you feel like doing or ain't nothing you love, then don't do it. This is not about human morals. You know what I'm saying? The stars in the sky ain't on no human moralistic. Like, the heavens is not, nature has nothing to do with human morals. You know? And then as above, so below, as within, so without. You know what I'm saying? If I know we move like how the cosmos moves on the macrocosmic level and on the microcosmic level, and on both levels, I see that nothing has to do with human morals, and the only thing that deals with human morals is the aspect of it being created, within this human experience. And it's like, all right, maybe this ain't the vibe for me to be, dealing with. We are God, source, souls on a human experience, you know. And just lastly, one of the main reasons for synchronicity is because our vibration is raised to a higher frequency. Through clearing our mind with meditation, causing less egoic mind chatter, which means less focus on the past and the future and more focus on the now, which leads to less stress and negativity that puts your mind, body, and soul into a lower vibrational state of being. Lower vibrational state means the weaker our connection. Your connection. Lower vibrational state means the weaker our connection with higher self becomes. And we are higher self. We are a source. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so just speaking to the lower the vibrational state is, the more this body suit squeezes us off from who we are. You know what I'm saying? We are our higher self. We're not our bodysuit. I repeat, we are not our bodysuit. When the astronaut put on his astronaut suit, he is not his astronaut suit. He's in his astronaut suit. He's working from within that astronaut suit, but the astronaut is not his astronaut suit. And astronauts, you know. but so again, it's about maintaining that high vibrational state, you know. And this is why positivity and being in a state of being, or this is why positivity and being with a healthy heart coherence. Oh, let's see. Read my notes, y'all. This is why positivity and being in a, or just being in general. That's what I'm saying. That's why positivity and being helps with the healthy heart coherence and brings us to a place of more rapid manifestation. You know, higher self is not troubled by the mental woes of the human body, therefore vibrating on a higher frequency. So in order to line up with that energy, you have to raise your vibration, staying out of survival mode, staying out of that fearful mode. And I made a video about that, like how, certain, these parasitic energies within this realm try to keep you in survival mode. And again, as I say, these parasitic energies, on a bigger scale, yes, the primordial mother, the no thing, that void, that no thing allows for the potential to be everything, and everything is interconnected. But it's layers to that. Yeah, on the bigger grand scale, at the same time, within this realm and this experience of what we're dealing with, we're dealing with a situation within this dream realm where we're not letting parasites take over. You know what I'm saying? And parasites might be that, again, that contrast in our experience, that reflection, that other side of that one coin that we are. But again, we're not letting that one side of the coin, those parasites, you know, uh, throw things out of balance in essence. So, but that's basically it, y'all. Peace, peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrative course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.